We wanted to make this a practical class this morning, but without the foundations, there's nothing to make practical. So next Sunday will be more practical. Let me leave you with a thought, because I was again listening to Sam yesterday night, Sam Adeyemi. He said when they started their church for the first 3 years, they were struggling with growth. He said they finally decided to have a meeting where they said, okay, who are those who live 5 kilometers around our church? That's number one. Then he says, number two, what are their greatest needs? And then number three, what can we do about those needs? And I said, you don't have to go far in Nigeria to know what the greatest needs of 5 kilometers around Lagos. Anybody can tell me right now? Can anybody tell me what the greatest needs of people around us are? Poverty. He says, he now went to check the messages he was preaching. He realized, even though he was teaching principles from the Bible, the only message he gave on money was giving. He says, these people, not as if they were rejecting the message of giving, but they didn't have to give. And so he had to rethink his entire strategy and say, wait a minute, Lord, is there anywhere in the Bible where you speak about, I can teach people? And he said one of the easiest examples that came to him was the woman whose 2 sons were about to be sold as slaves. And he said she went to the prophet, which is like going to the pastor of the church and saying, I have a problem. I have no money. What are you going to do for me? And the problem is many people think that there's a pastor who gave out 100,000 naira to 1,000 people. He has money. I don't have to give you. Sorry. Am I making sense? But that's not our job. Am I making sense? To give you 100,000 naira per head. We can't afford it. Am I making sense? To meet our bills, even in church on Sunday, it's a struggle sometimes. To pay salaries of staff can be a problem. But he said, he looked at the woman, and the woman, he said, the biggest lesson he learned is what the prophet said. The prophet asked her 2 questions. He says, what is in your house? And he says, before the woman could answer, he asked her another question. And then she finally said, oh, I have what? A little vessel. Am I making sense? Now, he said, and he told her, when you get to it, go and borrow large barrels, as many as you can. He even told her, when you want to start pouring the oil, shut the windows, shut the doors. Don't let anybody see you. Pack the oil. He said, this is the problem, and he wants everybody to live. And I want you to leave this place with this thought. He says, every single person, no matter who you are, there is something in your house or something in your life. God will never leave you without a starting point to success. He said he had been preaching this. This is what started Success Radio, which is why we want to look at how we can restructure and redesign the church marketing. He said that's what informed Success Power Radio, which has been around for 40 years now.